How to buy shares like a pro and avoid losses. This is the exact strategy that I use. I also learned it from somebody and I utilize it every time I buy shares. And by the way, immediately after this video, I'm going to embark on buying shares. All right. This is good, Joseph, in case you're watching me for the first time and you're wondering, who is this guy? I make videos about investment, money, and anything related to that. Let's get on the business, okay? By the way, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe and you leave a comment on the comment section. Number one, you want to buy shares. Don't just get in or something like that. Have a strategy, all right? This is a strategy. Step number one, what you're supposed to understand is that understand your goal. Think like an owner, not as a gambler. First of all, start by the simplest definition. What is a share? A share is a fraction of a given company. So when you buy shares of, say, Safaricom, in other words, you become one of the owners of that business. Are we together? So therefore, don't just think like an outsider or somebody who is, no, think like I'm buying this, assuming you had all the cash, assuming you are wealthy and you want to buy, say, Equity Bank. If you go there and buy as a business person, think that way. Don't think like you're just throwing your money. No, you're becoming one of the owners of that particular business. So the first thing that you're supposed to do is to first build the right mindset, where you think like an owner and not just somebody who is a gambler throwing your money there and intending to withdraw it with. No, that's not how you think it. Number two, define your goal before you even start buying. That is the step number two. Once you define your goal, what do you want? Are you investing there for long term or is it a short term? Long term is from 5 years all the way to 20 years. Anything below 5 years, I don't call it long term. That is sort of like medium term or something like that. All right, so define your goal. I'm getting into this stock market with the ABCD target. So define your goal. Okay, for example, choose long term, for example, 5 to 20 years. Monthly dividend income is if that's what you're targeting, you targeting capital gain and all those kind of things. If you're interested in creation of wealth, I can assure you that you go there for long term. Are we together? Step number three, never invest your emergency money or the emergency fund. You know, there is that money set aside for the purposes of emergency. So in other words, this step three, it's more about you preparing your money. Have the money to be invested, prepared and ready. Define, I have 30,000 on my table. I have 100,000. Among these 100,000, do we have the emergency fund here or the emergency fund is on the side and something like that? I was about to say confirm, that's a Swahili name meaning, for example, you can have somebody with a budget of 100K. Then you ask them, sure, you want to get into the stock market. It's a risky affair. Okay, you can actually lose your money or you can gain. So the question is, do you have emergency fund? Do you have some cash set aside for the purposes of cushioning? We call it the protective layer, you know, the soft landing, just in case a BS happens. Because, I mean, you never know how the stock market will actually work or go. So you take maybe, let's say, 30,000 out of 100,000, set it aside for the purposes of the emergency, just in case something happens. How many here have ever taken all your cash you've invested, things go hayway, and then you didn't have all the, or you don't have all the money, or you don't have anything, you don't even have, you know, sort of like where to start or where to begin. So make sure you define, this is the money for investment and this is the money for what? Emergency. Are we together? Now, number four, which is one of the most crucial part, decide the monthly investment amount. There are two types of investors here. We have the investor A. This is an investor who has a chunk of cash. So probably have like 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, 50, 100 million or something like that. This is somebody who already has some cash and whatever. They just want to invest once and they forget about it. They ain't gonna be doing what we call the top-ups and water. They just put their money there once and then they're out of the game. So they'll just be waiting for the dividends and the capital gain and something like that. That's investor A. Investor B may not have that chunk of cash, but is an investor who is intending, for now they have 100K, 20 or 30 or 40 or whichever, but they're intending to top up some cash as time goes by. So find out or define how much is your monthly investment amount. Is it 5K? Is it 10? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 1? Are we together? Is it 100? So define. Again, ask yourself, if I say it's 50,000 to be invested on stocks, do you have other investments? How much are you channeling there? What kind of other investments are they? Are they low risk? Are they medium risk? Are they high risk? Are we together? So you ask yourself, I'll be channeling 50,000 or 5,000 towards my stocks. Are we together? So you have to define that amount of money that you'll be channeling there. Remember one thing, you're just defining that amount of money based on the goal that you are embarking on. Remember, the first step is to make sure that you know and define your goal. Are you going there for long term? Sure, it's long term. What target are you aiming? For example, this year, how much are you aiming to be invested in shares? Is it 100K? Is it 300? Is it 500? Is it a million? So make sure that the goal sort of dictates the route to follow, the amount of money to do what? To surrender every month for the purposes of investment. Are we together? Now, the step number 3, obviously, or rather the step number 5 is to obviously open the right account, open a brokerage account. Obviously, this is the CDS account. I've been talking about it. Make sure that you choose the right stockbroker. These are some of the key areas that you're supposed to focus on when choosing a stockbroker. Find out, are they regulated? Are they known? For example, I always tell people, all the stockbrokers in Kenya that are registered and regulated, they are listed on the Nairobi Securities website. If you go to the Nairobi Securities website, you're gonna get all the stock under the online trading. You're gonna find all the stockbrokers listed there. So is that stockbroker purporting to offer the stock brokerage services listed there? Are they recognized by the Capital Market Authority of Kenya? Are we together? Not just anybody out there. So make sure that they are all registered and regulated. Number 2, how long have they been in operation? Number 3, what are their track record? Number 4, what are their charges? Because obviously they will charge you. They charge you, an average stockbroker in Kenya will charge you around 2% of whatever transaction that you are making. So find out how much are they charging you in terms of, sort of transfers and something like that, transaction and something like that, okay? So once you've defined that and you go ahead and open the CDS account, guess what you do now? Go ahead and start choosing the shares to buy. Now, this is where the entire journey begins. This is where now choose shares. Choose the shares to buy. Buy great companies, not random cheap companies. This is not to mean to avoid the cheap companies. These are companies that you find their stocks are quite cheap. What do? Many beginners think that cheap is a good to buy. No, wrong. For example, a 10 shilling share can be expensive if the company is weak. Know one thing, you can have a good company but be a bad investment. So you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. Now, use the 7-point professional checklist. This is what I always recommend. Number 1, before buying any share, check 1, the revenue growth of that particular company. Is company shares increasing yearly? Look for what we call the 52-week range. 52-week is an equivalent to 1 year. Check how have been the shares faring up for the last 1 year or 365 days. Are we having like sort of dips, high dips, and going up, like you want to see a company that has some sort of like, you may not be able to see like a continuous line going upward, but if you really zoom in, you're gonna see a little bit of noises, but overly you're seeing those companies are actually going up there. Are we together? So make sure that you understand the revenue generation of that particular company. Profit growth. How has the profit been growing? Check out this, okay? See, a company can actually generate a lot of money, but most of it goes to what we call the operational cost. Precisely if you're targeting the capital gain. Obviously, you would like to go to a company that it generates revenue. Obviously, every company has operational costs. But of course, the money they share as far as the dividends are concerned is quite substantive, isn't it? Because you don't want to get into a company that doesn't even share any dividends and you went there, okay? So it's good to understand how much they generate in terms of the gross profit, how much of that the taxes, the liability, operational cost, and what have you, how much is left for the net profit. And again, zoom in, out of the net profit that they generate, how much is dedicated to pay the investors. You have to understand that, so that you understand what we call the EPS, earning per share, all right? Of course, you also zoom in into what we call the DPS, the dividend per share, and something like that. Check out on the debt and nature of that particular company. They have debt, and if they do, are they within or without or outside the debt? Are they, within the parentheses whereby they are able to pay the debt, or they are in the debt distress? So it is good to understand whether this company has any existing debt. And of course, I know you'd be like, okay, where do I get all this information? It's on the public. Why? Because these companies are PLCs. They are publicly listed companies. So you can be able to get all this information. Again, check how the strength of a brand. What is this brand? What does it deal with? For example, honestly, I mean, without campaigning for any companies, check out companies like Equity. It's the most expensive brand we have so far. For the 3 years consecutive, it has been performing exemplary. I was listening to the CEO of Equity Bank, the James Mwangi. A brilliant mindset, brilliant mindset. Listen to the Degwa, the current CEO of Safaricom, brilliant mindset. Again, whoever is sitting at the helm of a given company also defines the confidence of the investors. I always tell people, if your company changes the CEO, that will also affect the shares. Because who is the CEO? Where is he or she coming from? What are their track records? What have they done? What other companies have they held? And what did they do in those companies where they held? So it is good to understand that the brand, how is it embraced, by the people and the consumers and what have you. You yourself, are you a consumer of that brand? It is good you ask yourself all these questions. Dividends, do they pay the shareholders? That one I've touched. The other one is good management. This one is where I was mentioning about the CEO. Do you know the CEO? Okay. Some of you are buying shares of given companies but don't even know the CEO. Who are they? Have they been, we say entrangled or estranged or whatever. English is my third language. With some court cases like conmanship or something like that. So who are they? What are their track records and something like that? And industry future, where this business dwells on, how is the future? How does it look like? Are they likely to be replaced by the AI? Is it something that people can have alternatives and then they're out of business? So you have to look at all those areas. Okay? Now, the other thing is that check out on things that I call them the fundamentals of a business or that particular company, so that you avoid what you call overpaying of a given share. Check out the PE ratio, price compared to earnings, lower than peers can also be attractive. PE ratio means the price compared to the earnings. Price to book, useful for banks. Price to book, are we together? Dividend yield, how much they do, how do they perform in terms of the dividend yield, some sort of like cash return percentages and such. Timing your entry. Now, the other thing is that buy in stages, not all at once. There's something I always tell people. For example, let me use an example of Equity. Say Equity right now is trading at 70 shilling, okay? Most people who would like to buy these shares may wish that they come back all the way to 59 or 50 or something like that. That may not happen like instantly or may never ever happen, but these shares can actually keep on going up. What happens is that you don't want to go get all your cash and throw in there. You can just get there sequentially. Let's say you have a budget of 1 million shilling to invest. So you can do this. You can just take like 100 G's or 200 and you throw in there, slowly, as you check how these companies are faring up. Just in case these shares are keep on going up, as you wait they come down, you're not missing the opportunities, because you can actually be seated there. They're at 7, they go boom to 80. Now the entry level becomes even more complicated because they have actually moved by 10 shilling. But you see, you've been moving in slowly, meaning there's some gains that you are getting. So the moment they go down, you buy hugely. Let's say for example, they're at 70, your target is at 60, but they don't go to 60 sale, they go to 63 or 64. Maybe there you can get in heavily. What I usually see people do is that you find shares are trading, say at 70, they go all in with all the cash, and then shares goes down, you find like they have actually sort of like lost. But when you actually sort of go in, step by step, and then the moment you get your entry level, because you should always have your entry level. Okay, what do I mean by the entry level? Entry level is that shares, let's say they are at 70, you're targeting 60, but again, you're like, you know what, once they hit 63, I'm telling you, I'm getting in there full force or heavily. Take all the entire million bob, boom, you throw in there. So it is good to go in sequentially as you check how the market is. And this is usually my strategy. For example, I'm gonna use this example. I own cooperative shares, quite a number. And I remember one thing, I averagely bought my shares at 13 shillings. That's where they trade, okay? But you find like, for example, if today I go and, for example, right now they're at 32 shillings thereabout. If I go throw in some sort of like a huge cash, I'm gonna average my shares. Probably they're going to shift from say 13 say to 17 or 20 or something like that. So the moment you buy shares and you realize that they have gone down, you go there and purchase more to average down. I remember I taught you something called averaging down. To average down is to make sure that your shares now are trading at lower price so that when they go up, you'll have a bigger margin. Anyway, I'm going to dedicate a whole video about that. Are we together? For example, you can split 100K like to that 25,000 now, 25,000 next month, 25,000 later, and just like that until you exhaust the entire amount of money dedicated for what? For that particular shares. Okay, buy when others are fear. This one is, I always tell people, make sure that when everyone shows at the shop, you don't show up. But when everyone is worried about the shop, then there's time to go to show up. How to avoid losses? Number one, make sure that you diversify. Don't buy all the shares from single entry or from single company or the single industry. Diversify. Get some agricultural, telco, industries, processing, something like that. Don't just have all about banks or about, make sure that you diversify. Are we together? And you can even mix up some ETFs here and there so that at least you can also do some things. And as well, index fund, if you can get any, okay? Of which in Kenya, we have a variety of them, okay? Like Nasi all shares, 2020 all shares, something like that. Never chase hype. Again, never follow what majority are saying and hype and something like that. Use position like size rules. That's 10% in one stock, safe, 20% max in confidence and something like that. Know when to sell. This again, people ask me, Joseph, I buy shares. When should I sell? You have to know when to sell. Okay, it depends on why you bought these shares. There are some of companies that are very good for dividends. You can buy them, quote unquote, like forever. Okay, but doesn't hurt if you make good money and you can actually go ahead and lock in your gains. So you have to know when to sell. Bad reasons, price fell a little. You have to know when can I sell. And again, there are two ways to sell. One, you can sell when the shares hit your target. Again, you can sell when the shares goes below your what you call profit loss. Okay, you have to make sure that you understand those ones. Sometimes you can sell shares at loss, by the way, it happens. Because, if you keep on holding, they're going to go loss until to a point whereby you're like, you lose everything, okay? We call them the exit strategy, okay? Pro strategy. Anyway, guys, that is it. As far as the buying of the stocks are concerned, there is a lot to be shared here. Allow me to reach there. Hope I've shared with you some of the things that are quite important. And I hope you're going to do something out there as far as the stocks are concerned. And by the way, what happens is that make sure that if you need my services, you can go ahead and hit me up. But there's something here I had highlighted. I think it's good I tell you. Pro strategy for beginners. For example, you can use the 70, 20, and 10% rule. 70, 20, and 10% rule. What does it say? 70% go to core safe stocks, strong, stable companies. 70% of the cash. For example, let's use money. If you have 100,000, take 70,000, put it in the stocks that are stable. Okay, they are core safe, strong, and stable companies. The 20% growth stocks. These are stocks that shows momentum of growing, high growth companies. The stocks that are showing going up, going up. And the 10%, you can speculate with it. This is the money that you set aside. You're like, you know what, these stocks, sure, may not be so good for now, but again, hey, you know what, it's at 2 shillings, at 1 shilling, let's go ahead and throw that money out there. You never know, it can actually shift from 1 shilling to 3 shillings. That's more than doubling, isn't it? So you can speculate with that. Don't go speculate with the entire 100,000. Anyway, that is it, guys. For now, it's a goodbye, but make sure you hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe. And if you need my services in one way or the other, pick that number, should be a call, text, let's talk business. But for now, just see you in the next one.